Hello, 6th grade mathematicians. We're going to go ahead and get started right away on area of a trapezoid. So, book needs to be open to 685, and we're going to go ahead and get started right away so that we can get through this. Okay, we are going to be starting on this first page because I want you to be able to see the relationship of a trapezoid in relation to a rectangle. So, taking a look, it says, Kiana has a bay window in her room. The window seat is in the shape of a trapezoid. She needs to measure the seat in order to sew a cushion for the seat. The blue trapezoid in the diagram represents the dimensions of the window seat. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to label base 1 and base 2 of the trapezoid. So this is base 1 and this is base 2. Okay, it's the bottom part. Notice I stuck with blue. So let's talk about base 1. What is the units? 1, 2, 3. So base 1 has 3 units. Base 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what is the height of this? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to look at the entire rectangle. Notice I switched to purple, and we're going to do the entire rectangle. So let's figure out the base of the entire rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 as the length, and the height is 1, 2, 3. Okay, now take a look at these numbers. What is the relationship between base 1 and base 2 of the trapezoid in relation to the length? What are you noticing? Well, the first thing you should notice is, well, okay, so obviously the rectangle is longer. However, when I add base 1 and base 2, I get the same length as the rectangle, which is true. So the sum of base 1 and base 2 is the same length of the rectangle. Is that a coincidence? No, because there's no coincidences in math. So every time you have a trapezoid, the base 1 and base 2 are going to be that of a rectangle, the same length of the rectangle added on. Now, take a look at the height. The height is the exact same, okay? So the height is the same. So going back to this picture, I'm going to erase it a little bit so you can see. Take a look. What are you noticing? It's very similar to that of the triangle in relation to the parallelogram. A trapezoid is half of a rectangle. Okay, so keep that in mind when we go to the formula, because yes, of course, we have a formula. So let's take a look at the formula. Here it is. Okay, your formula is area equals half of the height times, so half height, so multiplying, so 0.5 times your height times your base 1 plus your base 2. So the only big difference is now instead of just one base, we have 2, and we're going to add those 2 together, and then we still have the exact same formula as 1/2 base times height. Okay, so it's the exact same formula of a triangle, except we are adding our base 1 and our base 2. So what does that look like? Take a look down here at this example. Okay, again, write this over here so that you get practice. 1/2 height, area equals 1/2 height, base 1, oops, my goodness, sloppy today, base 1 plus base 2. Okay, so now our area equals 1/2, what's my height? 7 times 7 times our base 1 plus our base 2. And we get 7 and 12, or 5 and 12. So area equals 1/2 times 7, and then we are going to add our 5 plus our 12 to get 17. And when you add, when you add 5 plus 12, you get 17. Now, when you multiply all of those together, you take 1/2, or 0.5 on your calculator, okay, times 7 times 17 is going to give you an area of 59 and 5/10. And it looks like it is inches squared. Okay, let's do some practice problems over here. So let's do A together. So A, area equals, again, 1/2 of our height times our base 1 plus our base 2. So let's fill in what we know. Area equals 1/2. What's our height? Our height is 8. and then we're going to add our base 1, which is 11, plus our base 2, which is 14. Now I'm going to move down here, do the next row. I'm going to do what I can together. So I'm going to add 11 plus 14, and 11 plus 14 is 25. And with my calculator, I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 8 times 25, which is going to give me an answer of 100, and I need to label it centimeters, because it's centimeters squared. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and do B together. So B, area equals 1/2 times height plus your base 1 and your base 2 together. So let's fill in what we know. Area equals 1/2. What's my height? My height is 4. And then I have base 1 and base 2, so 2.5 plus 4.8, or 2 5/10 and 4 8/10. And when I add those together, because I have to do what is in parentheses first, when I add 2.5 and 4.8, I get 7.3. And now with my handy dandy calculator, I'm going to multiply all of those together, and I'm going to take 1/2, 0.5 times 4 times 7.3, which gives me 14.6 centimeters. Nope, not centimeters, meters squared. Okay, so meters squared, just multiplying those together. Okay, we're not going to do C because you'll be able to see C later. You'll be able to see C later? No, you'll be able to do some more problems later. Okay, here we go. Haven't had all my coffee yet today. All right, take a look at this. Finding the missing height. Okay, there's going to be a time just like we were finding missing dimensions on area of a parallelogram and area of a triangle. Well, now we're going to be missing the height. However, the only thing that is changing is we are going to use this new formula. So we have a new formula of height equals 2a, which would be 2 times our area, and then divided by our base 1 plus our base 2. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's take a look down here. So we are finding the height. So using this formula, nothing changes. 2a, b1 plus b2. We're going to add what we know in here. Okay, so do we know the height? No, we're missing the height. Okay, but do we know the area? Yes, we know it is 24. So we're going to take 2 times 24. Okay, and we're going to end up dividing that by our base 1, which is 4 plus 12. Okay, so now let's do everything together. So here we go. Height equals 2 times 24 is 48. 4 times 12 is 16. Well, this looks like an improper fraction, which means when it's an improper fraction, we have to take the numerator and divide it by the denominator. When you take 48 and divide it by 16 with your handy-dandy calculator, you get an answer of a height of 3 centimeters. So you would get 3 centimeters for the height of D. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to do E. Okay, so taking a look at E, going back to our missing dimension, H equals 2a divided by b1 plus b2. So we don't know the height, but we do know that we're going to take 2 times our area, which is 21, and we are going to be dividing that by our 2 plus 5. Okay, so now I'm going to squeeze down here, and I get H equals, and I take 2 times 21, and I get 42, and I take 5 plus 2, which is 7, or 7 plus 2. Now again, improper fraction. I'm going to take that numerator divided by the denominator. Okay, this means division. So 42 divided by 6, or divided by 7 is 6, and that would be 6 yards. Okay, let's take a look at some practice problems on the next page together. All right, here we go. We're going to find the area, and again, our area for a trapezoid is area equals 1/2 height base 1 plus base 2. Okay, so area of height base 1 plus base 2. And now we're going to fill in what we know. We don't know the area, so that stays there. Area equals 1/2 times my height, which is 8, times my base 1, which is 6, plus my base 2, which is 11. So area equals 1/2 times 8, and then I do 6 plus 11, which is 17. With my calculator, I'm going to take 1/2, or 0.5, times 8 times 17, which gives me 68 meters squared. I'm just going to double check that because for some reason I feel like I might have done it wrong in my book, but I just feel like I should double check it really quick. Nope, I was right. Okay, so 68 meters squared. Sometimes when I do the work in my book, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I forget it when I come to this and do it for you guys. So glad I double checked. All right, area equals 1/2 height, base 1 plus base 2. Always write the formula down. Are you guys sick of hearing me say that? Because I'm sick of saying it. Okay, height. Height is 8, so we're going to replace the h with 8. Base 1 is 7 plus base 2, which is 16.5. So now I'm left with area equals 1/2 times 8, and then 7 plus 15.6 is 22.6. And when I multiply all those together, I'm going to get an area of 90.4, and it looks like it is feet squared. Okay, so now let's do a quick missing dimension on number 3. So again, your missing dimension, is right here. So let's just copy that over. I'm trying to figure out where I have some room. I'm going to just kind of bring it over here. So our missing dimension, okay, you could probably write down below, but I'm going to write over here. Our missing dimension is height equals R2 times our area divided by base 1 plus base 2. All right, let's see what we know here. It says a trapezoid has an area of 15 square feet. The bases are 4 and 6 feet. What is the height? So here we go. We're going to fill in what we know. We don't know the we don't know the height, but we know that the area is 15, and we know that base 1, or one of the bases is 4. It doesn't say base 1, and one of the bases is 6. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and solve this problem. So h equals 15 times 2 is 30. 6 plus 4 is 10. So now I have h equals 30 over 10. And when I divide 30 divided by 10, I get an answer of 3. And it is labeled as feet. So my height is 3 feet. My height is 3 feet. Okay? All right. So, 6th graders. That is area of a trapezoid. Again, you cannot go wrong unless you do one of two things. Number 1, you don't write your formula down and you don't follow your formula. Number 2, you put it incorrectly into your calculator. Or number 3, you just choose to be lazy and do no work. Okay, which is not an option. So, when you're finding the area of the trapezoid, again, write the formula out. There is just that extra step of adding our base 1 and our base 2, but it's not that hard of a step. Okay, and then we just really multiply it all together. The only part that is going to be tricky is that you have a different formula for a missing dimension for an area of a trapezoid. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you are deciphering between the two when you have to find the area of a trapezoid, and then when you have to find the missing dimension of a trapezoid, that you have a different formula. Either way, follow the formula, follow the rules, okay, algebra. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, then check, okay? Now, just make sure that you do what is in the parentheses first, which is the adding part. All right, you guys are doing awesome. Keep rocking it. We're almost done with area. Well, kind of, sort of, not really. We're just hitting the iceberg of it.